Slimehouse TV, myself Theo Kane, hope everybody is blessed and chilling. Gonna do a big studio update video today for you. Since the last episode that I dropped on this build, we've made so much progress on it, we've done so much since then, spent a lot of time on the actual building and then also been out and about collecting things for it, and we're gonna show you all of that in today's episode. So as always, sit back, make sure you're comfy and get strapped in for another studio update right here on Slimehouse TV. Let's do this. So just to have a little recap first of all about how far we've come since we started this project. A project that's become way bigger than I initially anticipated, building a brand new Slimehouse studio, / filming space, / toy making factory right here in my back garden. We've gone from digging footings, mixing tons of concrete and pouring foundations. We've had like 1,000 breeze blocks delivered, all of which had to be carried and stacked by hand and then used to build the shell of the building, a building that has then been double skinned and insulated. We then had to fit the door and then the dividing stud wall and also the roof, a roof that then had to be boarded and felted and blowtorched. But we managed to get all that stuff done, and by the end of the last episode, we was left with a building that was not only watertight, but one that finally started to feel like an actual room and a workspace. So since then, as you can imagine, it's been all hands on deck, full steam ahead, and we've made a lot more progress. We've done some painting on the outside of the building, building up lots of coats of primer so that when we do that last pass, the blocks will have had maximum coverage. And for this, we mostly just used whatever exterior masonry paint that my dad had got lying around. Eventually, the front of this building will probably be cladded, and the rest of it will all be painted in a nice dark slate grey. So although it's kind of fun having a building that looks like a giant red Duplo brick house, it's not going to be staying that way. We've got more on ourselves than on the wall, but we're nearly there. Ready for that layer of grey. Now at this point in the build, the electrician had been in and done all the necessary wiring, got all the lights and the sockets and the alarm fitted and all that stuff. So that was all sorted. The next thing we needed to do was crack on with the flooring. There was though a hell of a lot of cleanup that needed to be done before we could get that started. Has anybody ever met an electrician that doesn't just leave garbage everywhere? Okay, let's get this sorted. So I've managed to get everything like swept up and that kind of thing, but now we're going to give it a good hoover. We've got like a powerful Vax hoover specifically for the job of getting up all the little bits of sawdust and dirt, because tomorrow morning at around 10 AM, Dave Blade's coming to Sheffield and he's going to get the flooring laid. It's like a 2-day process, so I want to make sure that the floor that he's working on is as clean as possible. There's no little bits of dirt and debris and dust and all these little bits of like insulation block little pieces that keep falling down every time you touch it. So yeah, let's crack on. This was one of the boards that we didn't use for the roof, and I'm thinking that when everything's all set up, I can turn this into like diorama texture and use it for wargaming. It'll be good for playing Hero Quest on and having Warhammer 40k battles and stuff and other skirmish games and things. So I'm going to texture all this and turn it into a gaming board that we can lay on the table and then put back in the storage area when we're not using it. As you can see as well, I've got so many sockets in this place. There's 4 double sockets along that back wall. That's where all the 3D printers are going to be going. And then there's another 3 double sockets along this wall. There's going to be another double socket there and another double socket there. And then that's also going to be the same on the other side of the wall. So I've also got power in the storage area. So right now I'm filming like the first actual thing in the studio that I've ever filmed before. Obviously, I've filmed all the construction of it and stuff. I've done a bit of spray painting, but I'm doing right now a photo shoot for Arrow Video. They've sent me a copy of the original Ring movie, Ringu, and I'm going to do like a little Halloween horror style themed photo shoot. Just something quick, but I thought while the walls look all barren, that it would be cool to do a little photo shoot in. So, very impromptu. Let's see how we get on. So the night before Dave Blade came over to start the flooring, I decided to utilise the fact that the building still looked like some kind of dingy basement and do a photo shoot for Arrow Video. They'd sent me the new Ringo Blu-ray, so I threw something together quickly, just like a little one-man film crew, which I always enjoy doing, even though sometimes it can be hard lighting your shots and filming everything all on your own. But these did come out pretty nice, and Arrow seemed to like it, which was cool, and it was nice to be able to use the flooring for something with the exposed block floor before we got the nice fresh one laid. As planned, the next morning, Dave Blade arrived in Sheffield, travelling all the way up from Peterborough like an absolute dude to not only lay me some nice hardware in vinyl, but also level all of the floor first, so that the texture of the block and beam floor that we currently had was completely hidden. Now, Dave Blade is someone that you might have heard me talk about before on this channel. He's a guy that I know from the Toy Fair, and he's widely known throughout the UK vintage toy scene as the nicest man in toys. Now, that's not just a name that I call him or a few people call him or anything like that. This is a dude that's collectively earned that title as just being an all-round very generous and reliable human. Like we're making a cake. Caramac.
Isn't it?
So getting this floor ready for the vinyl was a multiple part process. First of all, Dave covered the whole floor in this kind of bright pink silicone. Then we mixed several bags of leveling compound, which is a 2-part mix that he then generously poured across the whole floor space, spreading it out to get everything as even as possible. Now usually this dries pretty quickly, and if we were doing this a few months ago when it was summertime, or one of the few nice sunny days that we had, it would have cured in just a couple of hours. Unluckily for us though, we were doing this on a weekend when the temperature had really dropped, so it did take a bit longer to go off than it normally would have. Luckily though, we did have 2 days to get it all done, so we were confident that that gave us enough time if it was going to be a slightly longer curing process than usual. So it's day 2 of the floor fitting, floor pour, whatever you want to call it. Yesterday we poured 2 layers of leveling compound and got it nice and level for this. Oh, there we go. For this hardware in vinyl that's going down tonight. And then we went to my mum's and we had a big feast. We had a Slimehouse pie, which was awesome. And now Dave's coming back to get the floor fitted, so I'm just waiting for him. And it's a cold one today. Woo! Bit fresh. So we'd managed to get that whole floor covered on the first day, but you could still see some of the beams slightly raised up underneath the compound. Now the issue that this raises is that if it's left like this, when the vinyl is laid on top of it, even though the vinyl's thick, there's a chance that you'll still be able to see that texture, and we don't want that. Also, because of how long it were taking to dry, because of how cold the air was, we was worried that if we were going to do another pour on top of this, it was going to leave us with a floor that wasn't dry enough to lay vinyl on top of it before Dave had to leave to go back to Peterborough. Luckily though, Dave had some tricks up his sleeve and some emergency fast drying material that he'd still not used yet, and he managed to get it sorted. Good old Dave Blade.
You going to shoot in slow motion, or do you want me?
It's coming on. Blast off. Last little bit, is it? Look at that shadow behind you. I'm filming that shadow.
Oh, right.
You're like a horror shadow. From there, it was time to get the vinyl laid. And because Dave often works in commercial floor laying, he managed to snag me some pieces of very good high quality hard wearing stuff that you'd normally find in like a high street chain store or a hospital. It weighs an absolute ton and it's very hard to cut and work with. Like, you've got to soften this stuff up with a heat gun before you can even trim it. But as you know, we're going to be doing a lot of resin pouring and painting and all sorts of mad stuff in here when I'm up and running. So I need a floor that's going to be able to take whatever I throw at it and also be able to be cleaned down without staining or ripping or anything like that. So this stuff is perfect. Momentous occasion. Check that.
There we go, look at that, eh?
What a moment. Finally getting that flooring down after 2 days. Dave Blade's on it.
Just.
It's cold.
Hey.
It's alright that, look at that.
Hey.
Fits like a glove.
Dave Blade, that's why they call me the Blade.
That's what they call him, the Blade. Now, because this stuff is so heavy, it only comes in 3 metre lengths, which you then weld together with a long strip of rubber. And like I said, these were pieces that Dave had snagged me from a previous job that he worked on. So we didn't have the exact sizes we needed, but because he's done this for so many years and he's so good at what he does, he managed to patch together a few pieces and then weld them together with this light grey seal. And after 2 days of graft, we ended up with a really nice finished floor that I was very happy with. And we're all done.
That's it, mate.
Welded together with a nice seam. The moisture don't get in. Job's a good one. Shouts Dave Blade, who's ready for off.
Go get home.
There we go. A couple days later, we got the holes drilled for the ventilation fans that are going to be going in, and a few days after that, we had all of the plasterboard delivered. So from there, it was on to getting the whole space boarded out and ready for the plastering. Action. So the plastering and the boarding was one of the stages that I was really looking forward to, because this is when you can properly see the room start to take shape and see the real area that you have to work with. Up until this point, everything was hard to gauge. There was still a lot of open space between wooden beams and that kind of thing. But once we got to this stage, the final workspace would be revealed, and that's something that I was really excited about seeing, because that's when I could properly start planning the layout of everything that's going to go inside this room. Now, you might have noticed through a lot of this footage that even if I'm not directly hands-on doing the work myself, because it's not a job that I'm skilled at, I'm always there with my camera up close and watching everything happen. And that's not because I'm trying to breathe down people's necks and make sure that they do a good job or anything like that. Most of the people that's worked on this studio are family friends. I trust all of these people. But it's literally because I'm just intrigued in seeing how things work and how people do stuff, what materials they're working with or what skills they're using. I ask a lot of questions and I just find it all mega intriguing. I just love always learning stuff, and sometimes even blagging people enough for them to let me have a go myself. Look at that.
And again, that's alright.
Is that alright casting up that eye? Does it matter? So?
Look at that. Oh, he's getting.
He's here, look, York's the strongest man. He's on it! Join his new programme, only 25 quid a month. So after another 2 days, this time of plastering and boarding, we was left with a room that was all skimmed, ready for the final electrical components to be wired in, and also with some pretty epic acoustics. So we're currently just on the motorway heading to a place called Hickley to go and check out our friend's factory, the Signage and Display Co. You might have seen Kev in a recent Toy Hunt video, but he's the owner of a big sign company and he's hopefully going to make some cool stuff for the studio. So yeah man, just going to take you along for the journey. Let's see how we get on. So as I just mentioned there, we've got a friend Kev who owns a big sign company down in Hickley, and this was our first time ever visiting it. I'd only ever seen pictures and videos of what they do there on Retro Get Us vlogs up until that point, but if they were anything to go by, I knew that this wasn't no little operation, and both myself and Bentlegs were very excited to finally get to see it in person. It's me Marty McFly. Hi, I'm just here to see Kev. So Kevin's company, the Signage and Display Co, are manufacturers of signs both big and small, working for companies like Cafe Nero, Dunkin' Donuts, JD Sports, Subway, just to name a few. They work with tons of different types of materials, from metal to wood to plastic and acrylic. They've got everything that you could need to make anything you ever want. And although it's not their official slogan or anything like that, it seems like if you can dream it up, then they'll find a way of creating it. Yeah, this is a big operation in here.
Yeah, well, we've got the other unit. The other unit's where all the interesting stuff is.
Okay. I thought it was like a train car. No, like a New York subway train. It'll be all graffitied with the Warriors sat in it. Whoa.
Ready to go.
Jeez.
So, stainless steel, it's got mild steel, aluminium.
Yeah, so you could cut like a sign out, like a Slime House sign with the lights behind it, but it's just steel cut. Oh, that's...
You'll see all that. Are you able to cut something for me, Tom?
like little Batman's little, like...
The batarang.
Yeah, those little ones are like cut out of steel. The little shurikens.
If you want one of them, I can make you one of them.
That quick, yeah. Like put it on like 0% and make a good tattoo machine. Just like put you. Super quick though. Yeah. Wow. Has it just fell through?
Yeah, good at that.
No, I mean, it'd be cool to see. There we go. It's like a little horseshoe. Is it not? It's not going to be hot. Oh, I think it'll be like, ah. There we go, look at that. Dope.
These are all the different.
Yeah. Oh, I love that red. I need something.
These are your routers.
Oh.
So CNC router.
Yeah.
They'll cut acrylics, aluminium, wood, foamex.
So CNC doesn't use a laser, is it like a...
Basically it's like a drill bit that spins
okay, router.
So you can see it's cutting now.
It's already way bigger than I thought the operation was. You know what I mean? I knew it was big, but like this is next level. Dunking, yes boy, that's mint. Dunking.
Laser cut. So that shape's been laser cut on the laser.
And then you've made like a box that...
So these guys will then build the return.
Jeez, yeah.
All done by hand.
All stuck together by hand but cut on the computer?
It's actually soldered together with the little soldering irons.
Oh.
So heat up the oven, and then one hand they've got like a solder stick.
Yeah.
Another hand they've got their iron and a little flux brush, and they'll kind of like.
So it's that kind of like quite a delicate process. Considering you're welding metal, it's
a very skilled job.
Yeah.
Their letter builders are hard. This is like traditional letter building.
So after getting a tour of the main manufacturing area, we then headed over to graphics and assembly to meet some of the boys in that department and see what interesting stuff they were working on.
This is Paul.
You alright, pal?
Hi, how you doing, mate? You alright? Theo, nice to meet you, mate.
Yeah.
Theo and Bent Legs. Don't ask.
You alright, pal?
But that's what I'm talking about. That's the one, isn't it? Yeah, but it looks like an actual neon light. That's what I'm talking about. Pure. Is it like Pure Gym or something? Is that what it is? Pure Gym. That's a piece of acrylic cut out into it, and then you've got that strip behind it.
So we'll be able to see that a bit.
I'm into hot pink.
Chewer, Theo, Chewer.
How you doing, mate? You alright?
Bent Legs, Chewer.
Was he expecting us, Chewy, or have we just turned up like print some stuff for these random people? Now in this department, they put a lot of the signs together, assemble them, do some of the more finer details, add lighting to them and that kind of thing. And they've also got some massive printers that Kevin and his colleague Tue very kindly arranged to demonstrate for us by printing some of my own artwork. Oh, beautiful. Bence might even get one for his notebook, maybe. I wanted to see if I could like film a shot of Bent Legs through the machine. Oh wow. I'll get this skills face coming through. Yeah, that looks beautiful. Being an illustrator and an artist that works pretty much all digital these days, when I'm working for a client or even just drawing something for myself, it's very rare that I get to see them printed up. I only really get to see them on a screen and rarely as something tangible in front of me. So it was honestly really cool to be able to see my artwork not only printed out while I was there watching it, but also being able to see this stuff blown up so big and looking as vibrant as it did, because for most of these pieces, it was my first time ever being able to see them that way. While we were there as well, Tui also printed me out a bunch of Slime House vinyl stickers, something that I were really buzzing about because I wanted to make some more Slime House stickers for ages, and they did me a ton of them.
Vinyl, like a
You just buy it like a piece? Now you might be wondering why I'm featuring this factory visit in this studio build video. I get that it could feel like a bit of a diversion, but there's a reason why we came here. It wasn't to print out artwork, as awesome as that obviously was. It was actually to speak to Kevin about some lighting and display additions to add to the studio once the build and painting's all finished potentially. And by coming here and seeing everything in person, I was able to get a real good idea of what can be achieved and what we can do. It's clear that this is a company that specialises in real high-end, top-quality signage, and if Kev's able to help out with some lighting strips, maybe even a Slimehouse light-up sign, obviously that would be a dream addition to the studio.
That is wicked. That's like way more brighter and prominent than I expected. Oh yeah, that's the one. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
On here, it just looks like a white beam.
And obviously that would be stuck down on there, the other side of the table.
As I mentioned at the start of this little segment, Kev is someone that's featured in a lot of my friend Retro Ghetto's vlogs and videos. That's how I actually met him, through Callum. And if you've seen any of those episodes, you'll know that he's a big time game and toy collector, he's a man that likes to display his stuff really nice, and he's also a dab hand at creating his own custom display cases.
Oh yeah, of course. Is that what they're for?
Yeah.
Is that what you've made them for? Yeah.
This is my little stuff.
That's your little pile. Maybe even make like a diorama base that they're just in, and it just looks. Ah, that's wicked. Yeah, that is mint. Super clean, yeah.
Now he only makes these for himself and close friends, he doesn't take orders or anything like that, but while I was there I also wanted to show him some of my favourite pieces from my collection that I think could benefit from protective boxes down the line, as that's something that he's also spoken about creating for me too.
Some of these are annoying to get a box on because of that flap.
Yeah.
So you can actually like get boxes, not strictly for these, but you could probably get something that they would fit in. But when it comes to this stuff like with a flap, it's a lot harder.
Yeah, so what I've made cases for myself for carded Star Wars figures.
Yeah.
So you have the depth of the box like that. And
Yeah.
You have
like a thinner piece.
So it slides into it.
This is another wicked one. Look at this. The old Mego Hulk that you see, it's got that flap on.
Yeah.
That again just makes it so that you'd have to have a box like that. That one that big or
yeah, you'd have it that deep all the way.
Yeah.
And this piece, the face of it would have some.
it's like a tiny thing that it slides in.
Yeah.
Right.
You'll have seen it.
Yeah. See, like these are like my prized pieces, but like look how deteriorating the boxes are now after all these years. Like that wouldn't be a big acrylic box, but you can just see how much of a nicer way it'd be to preserve it. I have that in cabinets at minute.
Have you
but
got any of your stuff in acrylic?
No, nothing. No.
The day that you put the first thing into acrylic, you'll be.
Yeah.
That'll be.
And also makes them easier like to stack on top of each other and things, because at minute like
they look so much better as well though.
they look like a pure museum piece. He's another really nice one. But again, flat box, Doctor Who giant robot. Again, like another really rare piece. But having it on shelf, and I have those little packs that like dehumidifier boxes, and they get full of water and that, so I have to keep them, so it'll help with that. But you can imagine all them like on a shelf. After a few years, they're getting dusty, so you're wiping dust off. They're just slowly getting destroyed. So like I've got lots of nice like He-Man carding and things, and Ghostbusters and all that stuff that are nice to have everything. But do you know, if I were gonna like choose something from my collection, it'd be these are what my dad gave me from his collection.
We'll
like
start with them then. We'll get cases made for them.
As you can probably imagine, I could have spent all day chilling at this place, seeing how everything works. I already told you earlier how much I love seeing how things are made and how inquisitive I can get asking questions and stuff. Also, I think after like 4-5 hours, however long we were there, of me asking 100 questions about everything, he was probably happy to see us leave.
So what's probably got a bit more flex to it? What is that actually made for? So what goes in there? Is it like a big CNC machine?
We got them out there. We'll get
All right. What is it cutting there? They're just like tester shapes that he does first. Sorry to interrupt. Well, what's this here? Is this to fit it to the wall, the sign, like the bracket? Can I film stuff like this? I know it's like a business, innit? I don't want.
We've got to be careful on what we show.
Yeah. Oh, is that like a hanging sign? I was filming this little fire burning here. It's like a forge. What's that pattern on it from? Whoa. Powder coating, do you like spray that and then bake it or something? Yeah.
Exactly that. This is all the powder. It's not been powder coated.
We're going to get locked in there. It's mad as well because the floor is, it's just like a big containment unit in it. Like it's not like an oven, it's like the floor. Even frame's so heavy duty, isn't it? Is that an exterior sign? Does that go inside? Is that just a block of steel on the back of them?
No, so that's that 30mm hollowed out acrylic.
So as you can imagine, we had a whale of a time at Kev's factory, myself and Bent Legs. We felt like two kids on a school trip, walking around the factory, looking at all the machines, how they work and asking questions and stuff. And I'm really excited to see where we take that now. After seeing everything that he can do, how we implement that into the building, building a cool light up sign, some display cases, some lights around the edge of the ceiling and that kind of thing. We've also got power in the building now. The lights are working, all the sockets work, so that's something that we can start talking about very, very soon. So of course, just once again, I want to say a massive shouts to Kev for that, because yeah, we had a really, really good day. And like I said, I can't wait to see where we go from here now.
Let there be light, and let there be echo as well. Still lots of echo in this room, but that'll all get countered when we put like some mats down and get stuff on the walls and that kind of thing. At minute it's just really echoey because there's nothing for the audio to bounce off of. But check the lighting, man. We've got lights, we've got 8 spotlights in here, we've got a ton of sockets all in, all working. The extractor fan's going to be up there, another ventilation fan is going to be up there. Both of them are not in yet, and then we've got another 3 spotlights in this room as well, in the storage area. So yeah, finally a room that I can lock up and leave stuff in. I can charge things in here, I can film in here, have my lights set up and that kind of thing. Check this, I can have my lights on. You know, I love my funky lighting at Slimehouse. So yeah, whew, a lot of hard work. The electrician worked literally night and day to get everything done before he had to go back to his normal work. So shouts to Kevin for that. Big ups Kevin, because yeah, he was an absolute workhorse. Buzzing. I don't look like it, I'm very tired, but yeah, buzzing. So for the past few days, I've been scrubbing and mopping and cleaning the brand new vinyl that we've had put down last week by Dave Blade, because once the plasterers had been in and the electrician and he'd done a ton of drilling, there would just dust all over the vinyl and it just didn't seem to want to come up, even though we put mats down. So kept going back, waiting for it to dry, doing it again, mopping it all and then drying it all, trying to get it clean. Then I've kind of now got it to a point where it looks okay again. I'm going to steam clean it after, but in the meantime, I'm going to build something that I've been sent specifically for the studio, courtesy of a company called FlexiSpot, who have gifted me a brand new desk for the studio. How cool is that, man? So yeah, I'm going to go build that now because it needs building for this video so that I can get it out for this episode, and really looking forward to seeing it and using it and showing you the functions, because yeah, it's not just any normal desk, this thing.
So what I've got here is the E7 Pro desk from FlexiSpot. Now, as I said, this was very generously sent to me as a gift, and what I really like about it is the fact that it's electronic, so it can drop down low or raise really high, and with me needing a workstation to do all my toy and diorama photography on, this seemed like the perfect desk to do that, and I was very eager to get it out of the box and start building it. So in terms of putting this thing together, I knew that it were probably going to be a bit more challenging than a regular desk, as in one that didn't have hydraulic functions like this one has, but it came with very clear instructions and a handy tool to put most of it together, and I was actually very pleasantly surprised by how fun and easy it was to build once I started screwing everything into place. Everything was also packed really nice, everything felt really good quality and sturdy, real heavy duty stuff, and as I was constructing it, I was just buzzing knowing that this was obviously going to be a staple part of the studio moving forward. Now, as I mentioned, the thing that makes the E7 really cool is the fact that it's an electric desk. It can be lowered or raised to suit your needs. Maybe you want to sit down and work, maybe you want to stand up, and in order for it to do that, clearly you're going to need to get some power to it. And at first I was a bit wary that I might wire it up wrong and not do it right, but the wiring process was actually very simple. It was very clearly explained in the instructions, and it also came with this really nice large magnetic cable concealing cover, which I really liked as it kept everything hidden away and tidy and snaps on so easily.
Okay, the moment of truth.
And as you can see, once it's stood up right, it keeps everything out of the way really nice. There's no hanging wires or cables or anything like that. And other than the one power cable that you can wrap up with this provided tape, once everything's in place, it's all disguised away. You would never really know that it's a specialist desk, and I like that a lot.
So yeah, straight away, super impressed with this thing. I love how smooth the motion is. One of the things that I wanted to get this table for was the fact that I want to be able to film figures on it and dioramas and that kind of thing, and be able to film from like a high up angle and a low angle without having to set up all these like annoying rigs and things, and this will eliminate all of that. It goes really high, it goes really low, and it will really help speed up my work. It also comes with a cable tidy that you can fit on the back. I've not fit that on yet because I don't know where this thing's going in the room. Where it goes in the room will determine where I put that cable tray, like how far or back I put it in, because you can kind of put it wherever you want, but that's also a really nice feature. It also has these little cable tidy things that you can stick on the front or the side. I've not stuck them down yet either because I don't know where they are, and again, depending on where I put this in the room will determine where this thing goes on the side of it. But yeah, I can't thank FlexiSpot enough for this table because they've absolutely knocked it out of the park with it, and I'm not just saying that, like this is everything that I could ever want from a table for what I do, and it's really going to help speed up my workflow moving forward.
So since getting this desk, I have filmed quite a few things on it, and I can't even begin to tell you how much easier it's made everything. I also spoke to some of my other friends who do similar stuff to me, and they also swear by their standing desks as well. And it just seems like in this day and age, if you're doing any kind of product photography or crafting and model building, this is just how a lot of people choose to do it now. So as I mentioned, this model that FlexiSpot have sent me is called the E7 Pro. It's got 160 kg weight capacity, so plenty of give there for more heavy items and dioramas and builds. Its lifting speed is 40mm per second faster than both the E7 and the E8 models. And this particular design has a C-leg base, which is also more stable and features the cool cable management additions that I was telling you about earlier. Now, if you fancy one of these desks for yourself, FlexiSpot have currently got a Black Friday deal on that runs between November 13th and November 27th. All of this information's down in the description below so you can read through it properly, and there's also a discount code there as well, which is also nice. So who knows, maybe soon you'll even own your own E7 desk. So once again, I just want to say a massive thank you to FlexiSpot for sending me this. It's going to come in handy so much in the studio, and you're no doubt going to see me filming many episodes on this in the future as well. So I think that's everything. I think that's a big enough update for now. What do you reckon? Done quite a lot there. Started painting the outside of the building, fit all the electrics in, got the lights in and that kind of thing, and I'm yeah, excited to see where we go next. We've got to wait for the plaster to dry and then we can start painting it. There's also that alcove area. I want to put some like kitchen units in there and a worktop on the top so I can put all the 3D printers and cleaning machines and stuff on there, and then yeah, onwards and upwards from here. I really hope you've enjoyed this update today. It's been a lot of fun to put together. It's been a lot of fun filming this whole project. It's been very stressful. Like, usually I'm very much in charge of my own time, and building this, waiting for people to turn up to work on it and that kind of thing has been like making Unit 11 again, like constantly waiting on other people's time, and it throws me off a lot of the time. How many times can I say time? But you know what I mean. But I really hope you've enjoyed this video today. I would love to know what you think down in the comments below of the build so far. Are you excited to see what we're going to be creating in this building when it's all done? What do you think of the stuff in Kev's factory? Any ideas of things you saw there that could be cool to be implemented into the studio when it's all made? Let me know in the comments below. As always, if you want to send me any messages or comment on anything but you don't want to do it publicly, the best place to do that is over on Instagram at Theo_Kane_Slimehouse. It's also the only social media that I'm really on as well, so it's the best place to hit me up if you want to directly message me. I do also have a Patreon as well, which helps fund projects like this and other stuff in the future. I've got some wicked things planned that I want to try fund moving on in the future, so if you want to get involved with that, then the best place to help support Slimehouse and help me make this brand bigger and better than ever is by joining the Patreon over at patreon.com/SlimeHouseTV. In the meantime though, really hope you've enjoyed this update. Really looking forward to showing you what I've got next, because in the next few weeks I'm going to show you my toy release. I'm finally going to show you the toy release that myself and Rainbow Yawn have been working on, because yeah, it's very nearly finally done. I know I keep saying that, but it really is now. I'm just waiting on the packaging to be delivered, and then I can put the video out announcing it. So yeah, really looking forward to that and everything else that we've got going on. I can't wait to show you. In the meantime, thank you so much for hanging out with me today, seeing my studio build, and I will catch you in the next episode. But until then, I'm gone.